Peace world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. Definitely going to get into some bite down boxing presented by Pay Me No Mind. One quick announcement, man. I've been sitting around on it a couple of weeks, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and move forward with it. But I think I'm getting ready to do a podcast. It's a really cheap or inexpensive way to do a podcast versus the more expensive way that I was doing it when I stopped a couple of months ago. And it might just be like a 15-minute podcast or 10, but it's just to get some stuff off my chest, man. It will be adult for adults or not safe for work. Not really just excessive profanity for lack of better words and whatnot, but I'm gonna be dealing with some topics because the name of the show is probably gonna be It's Always Personal. And it's just it's a lot of stuff that I let pass and I don't address and I steer from because that's really not my concern. But I'm just tired of giving a lot of people a pass on their hypocrisy and short-sightedness, and but it's gonna be also along with that. It's also gonna be why I kind of look at why I don't get on, why I'm not overboard on some of these bigger issues, these macro issues. It's about accountability, in many ways. But anyway, that's what I think I'm gonna do. Might get a little episode out there. It's nothing I'm really gonna promote. It's just gonna be out there. I'm just clearing my head. But yeah, it's always personal. But really what I wanted to do was quickly talk about a couple of things with one, I saw everybody's favorite boxing fan and source, Rick Glazer. I saw him come out with 138,000 for the pay-per-view buys for Wilder Ortiz 2. I don't have a whole lot of thoughts on that. I would use that for a baseline and for my understanding, a better understanding kind of what's going on in the industry and some of the plays that are being made. I'd use it for that, but other than that, I don't really have a problem. I don't really have any skin in that game. I already said what my thoughts were on the fact that was a pay-per-view that was pushed on us as a pay-per-view. I've already said my piece on that, and I'll move on. Getting to the fight at hand this Saturday, Ruiz Jr. versus Anthony Joshua 2, or just Joshua 2, over in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Looks like everybody's over there on site already, and things will start to jump off today with grand arrivals and all of that type of, the typical fight week things. I got 2 points. Because a lot of people, because they started to hate Joshua so much, I think one thing was missed. He's not gonna get any credit for anything unless he wins this fight. Period. So, but because he was a guy, and maybe it was rightfully so that people didn't like him. People didn't like how he got the titles. People they feel like he was protected, which all fighters are. Your favorite fighter has been protected to a degree, but because people felt the way and continue to feel the way that they feel about him, especially if the reports are true that this dude is getting 85 M's for this fight, but we just didn't even give a damn that he immediately wanted the rematch immediately. And it very well could be a situation that he knows what he knows about him, and he's like, nah, I'm the same approach for Lennox Lewis to Rockman. He could go in here and get get him out of here. He could get Ruiz out of here quickly. Like I said, we talked another thing that was overlooked on Fight Night was that back in June was that he outboxed. Some people were even saying that he didn't outbox, but he did what he needed to do the first 3 rounds and knocked down an experienced guy with all the amateur pedigree, a real fighter's fighter, and knocked him down in 3 rounds, and he'd never been on the canvas before. So, and he had a very awkward start compared to what we know about the guy. But we don't get that any credit either. My second point, a lot of us are questioning all I'm seeing is he fears Ruiz, he's scared of Ruiz, he's weak-minded, blah, 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 blah. Looking at the dudes that he went and brought in to spar, with the Derek Chisora, Bryant Jennings, I've heard a couple other names, seen some other dudes with some pictures. How weak could the man's mind be? Because we all know that Chisora has his 8 or 9 losses and whatever. But you tell me that you're going to get in there and spar with Chisora and not be there and not be competing, and Chisora's not going to kick your ass. Tell me that that's a thing. So, like I said, it has to be some level of confidence to bring in guys who are a fight or two away from challenging you for a real fight and involving them in your rebuild, your personal rebuild. So, but again, because we don't like Anthony Joshua, we overlook everything that the dude is doing. But like I said, I gotta give a dude a lot of credit. With all of the people that came out there and said he shouldn't take the rematch immediately. Lennox Lewis is now saying he shouldn't be fighting over in Saudi Arabia. This fight should be in England. He even made the comment, you should have it there so you guarantee that he has the win, which tells you kind of the inside, or the real deal about boxing. You should have it over here so that you guarantee him the win. That was a strange comment to me, but anyway, it was part of the minutia. But yeah, so I turned in my pick for the winner for the overtimeheroics.net, the group post, the boxing team post, the prediction piece, and I felt a little bit better about going with AJ in this rematch. Kind of putting these things together, watching the one night show, and then also just kind of thinking independently and giving the dude some and being objective. That's the word I'm looking for. Being a little bit more objective. Now the thing is this: he could be very confident, and Ruiz could go in here and hand him his butt again. That is a reality. I get that. But again, I feel like it's a way for him to manage. I feel like it's a way for Joshua to manage himself back to regaining his titles. It could be boring, but it's a way that I feel like with his makeup as a fighter, it is possible for him to regain his titles in this fight. So that's all I said, man. Those two things. He wanted the immediate rematch. He didn't push to make it happen at home. And then look at the people that he sparred to redeem himself. Bite down boxing. Don't let them count you out. Peace.